What's going on, everybody? Tactical Grizzly Bear here. I know, I'm in the truck, but I came to a realization. And that realization is that when I get off of work, it's 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. My wife's still asleep. The bear cave is right there next to the bedroom. Got a bunch of yapping dogs that bark at any kind of noise at night. So, can't really make the videos that I want to when they're fresh in my mind. So when they're fresh in my mind like now, I figured, you know what? I got to take a half an hour break. Might as well make some videos while those topics are fresh in my mind. So this video is going to deal with guns and the Second Amendment, firearms, and everything else. All right. There's been a lot of news about that lately. There's been a lot of news coming out that we've won some battles. The pro-gun people, we've won a lot of battles. Now, just because we've won a couple battles doesn't mean that we've won the war. In fact, this war is going to go on forever. As long as America still stands, this war of the Second Amendment and our right to keep and bear arms is just going to keep on going. Okay, so it's great to win battles, but we can't let up. We can't see this as total victory, because it's not. It never will be. As long as there's people that will oppose the ownership of guns, we'll still have these battles. Okay, so but in the news lately, just here, I think yesterday or the day before, it was Palmer versus DC. They decided that it was unconstitutional for DC to ban the carry of concealed firearms. Great. Right now, it's like a wide open debate now. It's because they basically have made it to where even if you don't even live in DC, even if you don't have a permit in the state that you live in, you can go to DC right now and carry concealed. I don't see a lot of people flocking to DC just to carry concealed, okay? But it does, again, give us this little victory. Great. Awesome. All right, so this Palmer versus DC actually stems from Heller versus DC, where it originally was called Palmer because that was the guy that was starting it all up for the Supreme Court, and some lower circuit judge decided that this Palmer guy didn't have any validity or something like that, and couldn't be a part of these testimonies and everything else, and so it became known as Heller versus DC. And now he actually gets his name on this one because of some reason. I'm not quite sure, but hey, yippee-ki-yay, great. Okay. Another little piece of news is the 11th Circuit, based out of Atlanta, had just made a decision on Florida. Apparently, Florida had a law where it was okay for doctors to put on surveys or whatever, or put on the paperwork and ask you the question of if you own firearms and how many. Well, that was taken to court as unconstitutional, and the 11th Circuit Court based out of Atlanta upheld that and said it is unconstitutional. It is unconstitutional. A doctor has no business knowing what your private affairs are if it has nothing to do with what he is treating you for. So by them asking you if you have firearms in your home is unconstitutional. Now, this is great because you know how these decisions stem even further than what they're actually talking about. Okay, so I mean, this stems to schools. I mean, we have a real problem these days where for some reason these private places, okay, believe that it's okay to intrude on our privacy. It's okay to ask these questions. It's okay to ask your children, how many firearms does your daddy own? But see, now the 11th Circuit Court has deemed that this is an illegal event. This is unconstitutional for anybody to do. So yes, it's focused on the doctors, but personally speaking, it also goes with teachers asking your kids. It also goes with your employer asking you, okay, and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind, all right? Speaking of freedoms, okay, not just the Second Amendment, but, we had a Supreme Court decision that talked about the abortion clinics, that it was unconstitutional and, in fact, illegal for the abortion clinics to set up free speech zones 250 feet away from the thing to block the people protesting the abortion clinics. I find this good because remember here a few months ago, we had the Bundy Ranch where the federal government decided to set up free speech zones. Like it was their job to designate zones where you were allowed to speak and other areas where you weren't allowed to speak. So that stems into that too. So anytime that the federal government comes to town, okay, and there are protesters and they decide, well, you can go and protest over there in that parking lot, but you can't protest in this parking lot. You can tell them to go screw themselves because the Supreme Court decided against the abortion clinics on the same issue. And it is unconstitutional to restrict anybody's freedom of speech. Now, here's a little thing that I heard about. Okay, apparently Obama banned some weapons, the AK-47 from Russia, Kalashnikov. There we go. Yeah, I can speak. Anyways, the and I guess Sega. I'm not sure. The very first that I heard of it, I heard that it was one firearm, one model of firearm from one country, and that was it. It was just banned from being imported from that country. Now I think it's expanded a little bit. I'm not sure, but is there a reason to kind of, get all bent out of shape about this or freaking call out everybody to march on Washington because Obama actually banned a gun? I mean, it's one gun and you can get that same exact gun from like 19 different countries. Okay. From what I understand is he only banned the import of that gun from Russia, that specific, country. So, I mean, again, if I'm wrong, hey, tell me, hey, I tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that, I need to freaking, read this or something else. Because I haven't done much research on it. I just, heard from the very beginning that this is what it was. And a bunch of people were getting upset. And it's like, it's one gun banned from one country. And you can still get that gun from like 19 different other countries. So, again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. All right. And let's see. I think that's about it. I mean, we've had these Second Amendment things going on for a while now. Personally speaking, what makes me sorry, I had to see what time it was. It's blocked how many minutes I got. What makes me laugh about these anti-gun people, and I mean, I literally laugh about it. Is, like some of these anti-gun groups, I mean, they're like, we won't rest until the Second Amendment is repealed. Obviously, they have no idea what the Constitution is, and they have no idea what the Bill of Rights is. See, the Second Amendment, although it is an amendment, is also part of a greater entity, a greater bill, and that bill being the Bill of Rights. So to repeal the Second Amendment, you'd have to repeal the first 10 amendments. And that's never going to happen. The only way that was going to happen is if if someone invades us and wins, okay, and restructures our whole government, or our government decides to become a dictatorship or oppressive beyond what they're doing now, okay, and totally change everything about what this government is. That is the only way. And it literally makes me laugh because I'm like, you're an idiot. I mean, do you not understand the validity of the Bill of Rights? It's not just a bill. It is the bill. It is the first bill. It is the only bill. And to sit there and say that, oh, we're not going to rest until the Second Amendment is repealed and all guns are out of America. That's just stupid. It is. It is literally the most idiotic thing that I've ever heard in my life. But hey, again, this is America. They have that right to to say it and to try, but it'll never go through. I shouldn't say never, but right now, I mean, it's just not going to happen. So another thing I love these anti-gun groups like Moms Against Gun Violence and Mayors Against Illegal Guns. What they should change their name to is Mayors Against Legal Guns by making them illegal. Because they're not doing a damn thing about illegal guns on the street. They're trying to take away guns from regular citizens. They're trying to take away guns from law-abiding people. And that is the craziness right there. That is the mindset of those people. All right? They make up a name that says one thing and they do something else. Moms Against Gun Violence. Oh, they want to take away your guns. They want to talk about freaking assault weapons bans and everything else. But that does nothing to quell the gun violence that is going on in America. Nothing. There are parts of America where police officers can't even go. Look at freaking Memphis. And what's that freaking place called? Calumet or something like that? It starts with a C. These guys walk around in their neighborhood with AK-47s. Cops roll by, they shoot at them. They have no fear. They sell drugs, they have prostitution, they murder people, all in that little complex. And there's nothing that the police officers can do about it. But you don't see Moms Against Gun Violence going there, okay, and trying to clean up the place, do you? Nope. They're trying to take guns from people in rural America. They're trying to take guns away from law-abiding citizens. Not these criminals who have made a complex, an impenetrable complex in the Memphis area. Same thing in Chicago, same thing in New York, same thing in Washington, D.C. So bottom line, again, I had to see what time it was. Bottom line, these anti-gun groups, all right, they're going to keep on doing the crazy stuff that they're doing. That has nothing to do with their name, nothing to do with what they're supposed to be going after, all right? Their whole agenda is to disarm America. But the problem is just like England and just like New Zealand and just like all these other places that have put bans on firearms, is that the criminals still run rampant with those firearms. They were doing it before they were banned, and they will still continue to do it when they are banned. Until these gun groups, these anti-gun groups, actually come up with something that will truly stop the criminals from committing these crimes, or truly stop the criminals from obtaining these weapons, then it's just going to continue. You can repeal the Second Amendment, and these criminals will run rampant with firearms. And the only people who will be affected by it are the law-abiding citizens of America.